New financial assistance from the United States to Ukraine.
Being the leader of the world means to be the leader of peace.
After an address to a united Congress. Strong words for Vladimir Putin.
I think he is a war criminal.
Coming from President Biden. And friends in Florida.
While talking to her, I saw the explosion from my bedroom window.
Offering a way out for a family in Ukraine. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Zitlali Solache.
And I'm Anya Joseph. Today's St. Patrick's Day, Thursday, March 17, 2022.
From the South Florida Media Network's Biscayne-based studios in North Miami, this is SFMN Newsbreak.
I think he is a war criminal.
The president's remarks speak for themselves. He was speaking from his heart and speaking from what he's seen on television, which is barbaric actions by a brutal dictator through his invasion of a foreign country.
Images and accusations. After what the Ukrainian president showed to Congress, the U.S. president has a powerful label for the leader of Russia. Intentionally attacking civilians is a war crime, and President Biden is now convinced that war crimes have happened.
The network's Sophia Lama from our Washington bureau is in D.C. this morning.
During an address to a joint session of Congress, Ukrainian President Zelensky has asked lawmakers and President Biden for more help for his country. President Biden has responded with new promises of aid. President Joe Biden responding to a direct appeal from Ukraine.
The American people are answering President Zelensky's call for more help.
In passionate virtual remarks before a joint session of Congress, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky expressed gratitude to Biden for U.S. help so far, but asked for more.
I wish you to be the leader of the world. Being the leader of the world means to be the leader of peace.
Many lawmakers were visibly moved by Zelensky's speech, and references to America's darkest days struck a chord.
In one sense, his speech was reminiscent of the stirring feeling all of us had in the aftermath of 9/11.
Biden signed off on an additional $800 million in security assistance to Ukraine, including anti-tank missiles and more defensive weapons. But among many lawmakers and at the White House, there is opposition to Zelensky's requests for a no-fly zone over his country, fearing it could lead to direct conflict with Moscow.
There is bipartisan support for sending a package that includes fighter jets and air defense systems to the Ukraine immediately so that we can have a Ukrainian no-fly zone manned by Ukrainian pilots.
The new aid announced on Wednesday brings the U.S. total of assistance to Ukraine to $1 billion in the last week. Reporting for the South Florida Media Network in Washington, D.C., I'm Sophia Lama.
A Ukrainian family is safely in Florida this morning. They made it to Orlando just days after Russian troops started targeting their home in Kyiv and leaving a part of them behind.
You can't imagine how many times I kissed this candle.
When Yulia Gerbut fled Kyiv with her sons, 11-year-old Nikita and 14-year-old Max, she packed what she could, including this special candle which represents her son Martin, who died from cancer in 2019 when he was 4 years old.
Was, breaking my heart that he's staying in some way. And you don't know, maybe the bomb will fall down on the cemetery. The grave of my son is left there, and obviously I can't take him with me.
After the attacks began in Ukraine, the family was forced to flee.
I heard explosions and I heard shooting. I was super scared, and the first 3 hours of driving, I was listening to every sound and begging to not hear those explosions.
After the long journey and refugee camps, the family finally made it to Orlando to stay with Megan Yukis, a woman who hosted Yulia during a student exchange program 20 years ago.
She really has been like a daughter.
Not only leaving her past son behind, Yulia fears the life of her 72-year-old father who's in Mariupol.
I haven't heard from my dad for 12 days. I don't know if he's alive.
Despite the unknown, Yulia says she will carry this special candle with her.
I can light the candle and, pretend he is with us. So no matter where we will end up, we'll have a candle to light.
Yulia has been volunteering to help in Ukrainian relief efforts while her sons are attending public school as they temporarily find a measure of safety and peace.
Independent journalists in Russia are facing a struggle this morning, both those from Russia and those in the country covering the war for Western media. Yesterday, Florida International University's Journalism and Media Department hosted a panel discussion on the topic with local news reporters Julia Bagg and Diane Fernandez and FIU professor Chuck Strauss, who helped to set up independent media in Russia and the former Soviet republics in the late 20th century and early 21st century. Also on the panel was Valeria Popova. She is a PhD candidate now, but who used to work as part of the Russian government's media censorship program.
See, I'm receiving a newspaper in the morning. As a Russian relations specialist, I'm monitoring it all, and I'm bringing it to my boss to show, hey, this is what the media, the free media, says about us, right? The thing is, the night before, the journalist who wrote this article, he called me and sent it to me over email. I proofread it, I edited it. I deleted whatever I didn't want to see the next morning, and I added whatever I wanted to see in there.
And if you missed the panel live yesterday morning, you can watch it this morning on the South Florida Media Network's YouTube page.
An unexpected tornado causes damages to a Sarasota home and warehouse. Yesterday, Sarasota was hit with an EF1 tornado with winds of 73 to 112 that had no advance warning. Local meteorologists believe that a water spout from the Gulf may have come to shore. The tornado managed to bring down power lines along the trees. As of now, there is no report on injuries, but only damages to a home and warehouse nearby.
Manatees facing crisis in Florida. Now a couple are on the interstate move.
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
It's good for everybody, good for the neighborhood, good for, that we did get open.
St. Patrick's Day and social distancing don't go together. Details on the first March 17th since New York City loosened its restrictions. Don't go away. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
If a natural disaster shows up at your doorstep, you can't just turn it away. That's why it's important to prepare for emergencies before they show up. Go to ready.gov/plan to find the tools and tips you need. And make a plan today.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Keen on green, St. Patrick's Day has emerged from COVID restrictions, and tonight is the night that everyone is Irish. Bars all over the nation are gearing up for a historic St. Patrick's Day celebration with COVID restrictions on the line.
Many haven't been able to celebrate for the past 2 years, and Dublin House, a 100-year-old Irish staple in New York City, is expecting big crowds tonight.
Getting as much Guinness in as we can. It's good for everybody, good for the neighborhood, good for, you know, that we did get open. Very happy to be back.
Owner Mitchell Cormican says business has been tough during the pandemic, and he's hoping tonight's sales helps give them a boost, with 15 kegs of Guinness to help keep up with the anticipated demand.
SeaWorld's Rescue and Georgia Aquarium are helping manatees in Florida. A young pair, one male and one female, were rescued by SeaWorld in December. There have been a record number of manatee deaths due to starvation in Florida. The pair was sent out to the aquarium for ongoing rehabilitation to open up space at SeaWorld's Rescue and Rehabilitation Center. That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Zitlali Solache.
And I'm Anya Joseph. Get more news anytime at sfmn.fiu.edu.